actually went to Vinegar Syndrome. Actually, we should probably start recording.
We should start. Do
Like,
we want
official.
an intro?
We could just use that for the intro.
Okay. It's my week. I don't know. Do I want to use that?
care.
I guess I'll use that. All right.
I don't care. how many years?
I don't care. It's not my problem. Fucking do the intro. God damn it. God fucking damn it. Okay. Fine, whatever. Just use that one as an intro. I'm gonna use it as an outro and use this as an intro. There we go. Bam.
God damn it. All right. 3, 2, 1.
The curse of the devil. Satan in control of the body and the mind.
Light the fire. Send me to my master. Take me, Satan. Take me. And doom the Dolenskis forever.
The blood of a virgin. The jaws of a wolf. The night of a full moon.
Thus will a descendant of Arrhenius become one of the truly damned. In the night of Walpurgis, Ilona accomplishes her mission.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Hey, they're the dog people, aren't they?
Anyway.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Rough Cuts. That was Boyk's Barn as the start of the podcast, our traditional thing that we do. You know, some people do do-re-mi's. Boyk's does and
I'm like an angry villager in the background. Movie.
Oh god, he's got a scythe. Hi, I'm Ilian, this is Boyk's. We do
Hello.
a podcast where we watch a bad dog movie and then immediately talk about it because what do we have to do at like 9 a.m. on a Sunday morning besides watch 70s exploitation werewolf movies? Because it's about a dog that's a dog. Werewolves are dogs. We've established this.
It's 70s exploitation, werewolf. What else?
Witchcraft
Axe
devil?
murderer, witchcraft, Satan movie?
Yeah.
It's like everything.
It is a little, it's a little of a lot of things. But good to see you all. This is our episode on Curse of the Devil.
Curse of the Devil.
I almost said Curse of the Werewolf, but because I keep on thinking of the cover. The cover is an obvious werewolf.
It should be Curse of the Werewolf, but it's of the devil because it's satanic.
Yeah, I'll put up the
satanic.
cover so you can understand. But
Yeah,
every single time, the cover always sticks in my mind, and I go, "Oh yeah, Curse of the Devil, Curse of the right, it's the devil."
This is a long line of Spanish werewolf films from actor Paul Naschy, who has played the Wolfman in many, many films. And this is technically a reboot of that story from the first 6. So, like, the 6th one ends on a cliffhanger to a new film, and then the 7th one is just like, nah.
So this is the Howling.
Over.
This is the Howling 7, where they all start just like rebooting it by going to small town Texas and line dancing for an hour.
And it also almost feels like Howling 2 because of the gothic nature of it and castles and dark outdoor areas where it's free to shoot. And, you know.
Yeah, it's very much, it has a lot of the kind of Howling 2 vibes with the castle. The castle is great.
The castle looks so good. Unlike the Howling Castle, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I would say, also this feels like a Hammer film. Like the old Hammer, like Dracula movies and stuff that came out in the 80s. But this is 10 years previous to that. Which is weird to me. It's great with some of it. Like some of the shots are fantastic from the director.
I think
Carlos
a lot
Arid.
of shots are really good.
Yeah, and I believe this was an attempt to go back to the Universal monster movie days of like, let's do that, but with nudity and gore and Satan. Like, let's make the Wolfman from 41, but make it way more exploitative.
I mean, personal tastes. Fuck yeah!
I think it's got to be better. It's got to be better, right?
Idea. It's
not. It's not.
It's not.
But so this is the Vinegar Syndrome re-release that just came out. I actually pre-ordered it, which I didn't know when I ordered, so that was a whole thing with waiting for this thing to get to me. But it came with 2 other films. The Vampire Knights Orgy was one of them, which we are not watching. And also the Devil Child, I think is the other one or something like that. The Demon Child.
But they don't have dogs. This one's got a dog.
But they don't have dogs. So we're watching the werewolf one.
Yeah.
I might watch those 2 in my own time, because...
don't let anybody walk in on you while you're watching them. These ones do have...
This is for sickos.
Some full frontal nudity.
Yeah, this is the extra nudity and gore version.
Yes.
Because the original international release had them all clothed to appeal to American audiences.
Yeah,
so they could get by the censors.
You can have death and dismemberment, but no sexy time.
But no boobies.
No boobies.
No bush.
There's a lot of bush. Holy shit.
A lot of 70s bush. And not the HW kind. But...
I guess I shouldn't say a lot. Because realistically, I was kind of surprised for... This is going to sound weird after we just say that it's the extra nudity and gore edition of an exploitation movie. But for an exploitation movie, the nudity was, pretty tame and tasteful.
It's they're nude, but they're not being, overtly sexual about the nudity. It's just there.
It's just there because, it's just relationship. And it's not like a lot of exploitation movies, it'll be coercive sex of some kind or another.
Yeah.
Or, taboo in a lot of other ways that are, honestly, generally very slimy and gross. And it's yeah, you like this, right? And it's no, I don't. But this is just, he has a girlfriend. That's, right? The nudity is, oh, I have a girlfriend. And then the other nudity was, oh, well, her sister is jealous and wants me to. And that's... the most taboo that it gets, right? But it's not
I guess.
In most of these, we've watched a lot of them where it's that's a sexual assault. That's that's really gross. Oh my god. And this one's not like that at all. Not even a little bit.
It's not a more modern day exploitation film where they have to get gross and grimy. It's just this just feels we want nudity so we get people into the theater.
Or something. I don't know.
It
was weird that it wasn't... I mean, I'm glad that it was less slimy about it. We'll just put it that way. It was nice that it was like that.
Now, that said, so the Vinegar Syndrome release is a 35mm, 5-reel, I think, release of the film that
seems like
that they transposed to 4K.
The reason why you know that it's 5-reel is because of the set release.
The Blu-ray menu has a reel 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to pick where in the film you want to watch.
Instead of chapters.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I assume it must have been multiple small reels of 35mm film, which is also how they did New York Ninja. They had a bunch of reels that they then clipped together later on. So I think that's really cool from a preservation aspect. Also preserving, I guess, the nudity and the gore scenes that were removed from the international release originally. Yeah, and bringing those back. That's cool. Now, we didn't watch the 4K version. Because the Blu-ray isn't 4K. There's a separate 4K release for television. I'm not recording 4K.
It also wouldn't make a difference for me because it's not like you can share.
What am I going to do? Look at every nipple? I don't...
I mean,
I don't
that's
care.
the other thing. It's... Although I will say, to just go back for a second. So there's a lot of problems with this movie. I liked this movie more than I thought I would in a way. I was expecting it to be real trashy, and it's fine. It's okay. But the cinematography in the movie, as we were talking about, I thought there's a lot of great, not just serviceable stuff. There's some great shots. They do a really good job of their night lighting is some of the best that I've seen.
That's usually, this era especially, 70s. We've seen so many 70s movies where it's night and you're I can't see a single fucking thing.
We've seen so many 90s and 80s movies and even 2000s movies where it's just either really, really obvious, terrible day for night that just looks really off and weird, or night shots where it's well, John, go up and just get something to drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, because you can't fucking see shit.
Can't see
there's
anything
no way,
anyway.
There's no way to know what the hell's happening.
the way they lit it, because they had overhead lights on grass to light
Yeah.
up the foreground, while the background still remained a little bit darker. So you get distance.
You
in
get
the shot.
depth for the shot,
And
and then
depth, which is so good.
They also then had them like crest the hill in that exact shot that you're talking about,
Yeah.
but with backlight. So you had
Yeah.
like front light and backlighting, so that you get like the really, really cool silhouette of the person, but you also still get this really awesome depth from having the front light. It was fucking great. Really good idea.
The way they shot it, because this is definitely an homage at the very least to the
Mhm.
1940s Wolfman, is I almost think they shot it to be black and white with the stark color
Makes
differences.
sense. Yeah.
And then if you did it black and white, you would see that bright and dark in the outdoor area.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas in color, you could see the bright white light on the grass, so it doesn't really work as well in color. But
no,
that almost makes me think that's what they intended. But then they release it as a color film.
Sure. Yeah, it might have been a little bit better
Yeah.
in black and white, but honestly, I thought that it looked fantastic, like in a lot of those shots. That being said, my problem with the movie in terms of like, so the cinematography, the actual shots are often great. There's lots of really cool overheads of like people walking upstairs. There's tons of really artistic shots. The editing
The editing's bad.
Fucking wild. It's absolute nonsense editing of like, there's one scene in particular where they're talking, there's like two characters talking and they're doing it in the day, and then it cuts to two other characters talking about later that night, and so like it just jumps ahead like 12 hours, and they have like two lines. They go like, oh, so you're going out tonight? Yes, I think I am. And then it cuts back to the first one in the past, and they finish the conversation they were already having, and then it cuts forward 12 hours again, and those two people go, yeah, I'm, so anyways, I'm going to go out tonight. Are you joining me? And you're like, wait, what? But why didn't you just...
Why didn't they just finish the conversation of each one? Yeah.
Why are these interspersed? What the fuck are you doing?
So there's that problem. There's that problem. I think there's also a pacing problem.
Yes.
Because the movie is very slow.
Mm-hmm.
It especially like there's scenes where people are like walking towards the camera, and instead of cutting it, like we get the point. Like you could just have it at the end. But instead it's them walking in real time from location 1 to location 2 in front of the camera. And you're like, oh, come on. Like that's a very 70s thing too, where like you'll see like a car driving down the road, and then you see it park, and then you see the people get out, and then you see them walk down. Like, come on, man. Like it's that type of problem too, where it's like they could have edited it a little bit snappier, but maybe that was to hit like the 80 minutes. I don't know.
I remember you having that problem right at the beginning, because they have like a funeral procession.
Yes.
And the funeral procession just like starts in the castle, walks down the stairs, walks out the gate, walks over the bridge, walks into the woods, and you're like, oh my god, stop! just please. Like, we get it.
Like, it's tough because you go from that, which is going to put your audience to sleep, unfortunately. And then 40 minutes later, they have a werewolf, like, luchador jumping off a balcony to attack a blind woman. You're like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, sicko shit. Yeah.
Like, it's just a mix of, like, two different style of films and pacing of film. And you're like, okay. So that there's that problem of constantly going fast, constantly going slow, speeding up, getting out of order for no reason. There's a spot early, too, where it cuts to the end of the film. And there's a character we haven't met yet who's like, yeah, he's super dead. And then it cuts back to the past. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
well, we were just in the past, and now we're in the future.
More for a quick second, because that's the very beginning. So let's start at the beginning, because the beginning is two knights on a field, and the one guy goes, you and your coven of Satanists will soon meet my righteous blade, you monster, and...
I'm going to send you to hell.
I will send you to hell where you belong, back to your master Satan. And he goes, my master Satan is too powerful. You can't defeat Satan. And then they fight. That's just the start. And so it's them fighting in the woods over the credits.
No, adventurer, my Satan is too strong for you.
Yeah, it's so good.
No, oh my god.
He's on a horse. The Satan guy has a special powerful horse trick, which is... the entire fight, his horse is just spinning in a 360, like, constantly. It's the wildest thing. But it goes for like 2.5 minutes of them fighting in the fucking woods. And then it shows these two women were on the hill watching it, and she goes, my husband, my love Satan is very dead, and now they're going to kill all of us just because we do a little thing like loving Satan. And then it shows them go in and break down the castle walls and start killing all the witches.
Yeah, because the knight was part of the Christian whatever to go kill the Satanists.
Some kind of thing. They call them the Daninskis.
But they rush in to attack the satanic witches, and then he's like, "Ha! You are all dead now, you evil Satan bitches! You're fucking dead. I am killing you."
I have
righteousness shall win, bitches.
I think that's a little bit of localization.
That's so good. And then the head witch, because now they're all being killed by these. You could almost call it like a crusade of some kind, I guess. I don't know. They're just knights, I guess.
Yeah.
But then she's like, "You and your kid will be cursed forever, Demenskis. Now that you have crossed Satan and burned us, we're not losing. Sand got in our eyes, and also we slipped. And like,
Satan's too strong. You can't win this way. We'll get you. Wait.
It's just
you've got a curse, and it'll curse your line forever and ever. In 500 years or something, when you least expect it, and the curse will come about. And then it just cuts from that to two people, a mom and like this small child, sitting in the dark...
In a cemetery?
It seems like it's like evening, and she goes, I loved you so much, Walpurgir. And then it cuts back. So it goes 500 years into the future... from this medieval time in this coven, and then immediately flips backwards another 20 years or something, or I guess more like
it's
7.
A small child, so it's got to be like 6 or 7.
Yeah. I'm like, right, I guess, but so then it goes back a bunch of years, but you have no idea who the fuck she is, who this kid is. You find it out literally in the final frames of the movie. It's a hell of a decision.
That's gotta be an editing issue, right? Like they're like, oh, we need people to know that this character is important, so let's just throw it in at the beginning or something. Like, I don't know.
It's a weird choice.
But then it cuts from that to just two guys out hunting, and they're shooting at a dog like it's the Thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And so one of the guys who is Waldemar, our main character, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
He shoots at this dog after his hunting buddy hands him a silver bullet, but he doesn't know that there's werewolves. He just has silver bullets for no reason.
Yeah, we assumed, because they go... Because the dialogue goes, should we be getting this far ahead of the rest of the hunting party, sir? It's dangerous. And then he goes, silver bullet, and loads a gun. And so you're like, oh, they're hunting a werewolf, because it's a dog. It's an obvious,
It's a German Shepherd.
Yeah, it's like a German Shepherd kind of thing. Like, it might be a cross, but it definitely looks German Shepherd adjacent. And then they go, oh, well, we're hunting this wolf. And you're like, wait, okay, so this is supposed to be a wolf. And then he shoots at it, and then they go into the bush, and it turns out that there's a guy in there who has a bullet in his chest. And he goes, but where did the Wolverine go?
Where did the Wolverine go?
What? So it's a dog that he calls a wolf. That then he asks is Wolverine, but it was a guy. And you're like, did they know this is a werewolf? Is it supposed to be a werewolf?
They don't even know what a dog is. They think it's a wolf.
Honestly, they never really explain if that guy is a werewolf and that's what happened.
Or if he just shot a guy.
If he just shot a guy by accident.
Because he feels bad about killing this guy when he was out hunting this wolf German Shepherd Wolverine. Right? So he goes into a depressive spiral at the same time.
Yes.
At the same time that is happening, there is a coven of Satanist witches that are summoning a shadow man by banging him after lighting a star on the ground that summons the shadow man of banging.
Yes, because well, they're doing that because so the curse in the beginning was at some point you will cross our paths again. Like our two families will cross paths again. The Daninskis, who is this our main character, and whatever Satanist line this is. It's Roma people, which kind of sucks, but
right.
And that's what it was, is he shot one of them. And so this is the start of the prophecy. But this is what's so funny to me, is because then they grab their guy and take him into the woods, and they have a big funeral for him.
Mm-hmm.
And in that is when they summon the Shadow Man of Banging.
The Shadow Man of fucking.
But they also, it's so weird, because they also go, now we will curse you. And it's like, wait, so
Didn't you already do that?
They need to re-up the curse? It's like,
Maybe it expires after 500 years, right? You don't know. Like, it's in the contract. Like,
the milk went bad. It was, we had this curse in the back of the fridge, and it started growing mold, so we had to throw it out, so now we need to make a new curse.
So the main Satan witch gives this lady who's named Ilona a wolf skull, and she's like, now it is up to you to do what you must do. You must cut yourself to put blood on this wolf skull, and then attack him with the wolf skull as a sacrifice, and you must die a horrible death in his care, because if he accidentally kills you, then he will become the Wolfman after 5 full moons, because it takes a couple months for this to actually trigger. It's kind of a long process, actually.
For 5 easy moon payments, you too can own this cool skull and blood.
Why does it have a delay? I don't... What the fuck?
They've already waited 500 years. 5 months is nothing.
And then at the same time, this is all happening at the same time, it cuts to a cop.
Yeah.
And he's like, just walks in on Voldemort after the murder has happened of this accidental killing of this man. He's like, oh, there's a horrible thing happening. I don't know if you know this. Oh, I don't know. Please sit down, police officer.
Well, and you go like, oh, horrible thing. You shot a man in the woods, right?
You killed a guy in the woods, you idiots.
Oh my god, we're going to get investigated. This is a whole thing.
No, it's dumber. Oh, by the way, did you hear about this horrible killer axe murderer that's on your land? He's just kind of hanging around. You should really look out for him. He's a real danger.
He escaped from an insane asylum nearby, and he's got a hook hand. Like, it's totally the urban legend bullshit of, like, this insane murderer escaped from an insane asylum nearby, and now he's out in the woods killing campers. Like, it's that. It's totally that.
Voldemort's like, oh no, a killer. Well, anyway, I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so... Not my problem.
What? Yeah, I'll just go down the road, whatever. So then he gets into his carriage and goes down the road in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. This is one of the funniest things to me, too, in this movie. Anytime that anybody needs to go anywhere, it's like, hey, what time should we start heading through the woods to go on our journey across these isolated mountains to go to Budapest or something? 10 o'clock sound good? Yeah, 10 a.m. No, fucking idiot, 10 p.m. You go at night.
It's pitch fucking dark.
You gotta go in pitch black. Obviously.
So he's going down the road, and then they find a lady in the middle of the road, just lying there, like the trolley problem, just waiting for him to kill her.
Yes.
And this is Ilona. Mm-hmm. So he picks her up and takes her back home. And then it immediately cuts to his maid talking with his hunting buddy.
Yeah.
And the hunting buddy's like, wow, I can't believe you saved that lady in the road and didn't run her over. Has he thought about banging her yet?
She's kind of hot. Out of nowhere. For no reason.
And then the maid's like, I think we should kill her.
She's evil. She needs to die. And you go, wait, what? Okay, hold up. That's even weirder. What is happening here?
No, we need to kill her before he fucks her.
So then it cuts to him having post-fucked her. It doesn't even go to, they're she's like, oh, thank you for saving me. No. It just shows them naked in bed after he's already fucked her.
This is all in the course of 3 minutes of film.
Great movie. So they're immediately post-coitus, as we mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a good moment to just kind of talk for a second about something that we mentioned earlier, which is we didn't explain the Shadow Man of Banging entirely, because she infects...
Do we need to?
She infects him with the Shadow Man of Banging. Well, but it goes into the exploitation part of it in a way. Because it's weird that it's just immediately post-coitus. Because what exploitation movie doesn't jam the sex in there?
That's true.
Like, and same with the Shadow Man of banging is there's this weird Satan ritual where there's a guy in a, like, green suit, but it's all black, like a morph suit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like, having an orgy with all these women, but it's mostly implied. Like, they don't really... They have the one woman show her boobs, but then they kind of cut away from it pretty quick. And they have him signaling to other women, but they don't go really explicit with it. And it's like, what a tasteful exploitation film. Like, it's a... Like...
Well, I mean, so he's the shadow fighter of a regular character, so it makes sense when you think about it. Like,
he's
they can't
Noob
show
Saibot, yeah.
Yeah, he's Noob Saibot.
The Noob Saibot.
No, but yeah, they don't show, like, intercourse or very tasteless sex. It's just, like, he's from behind, she's in front, kind of showing some pleasure, and then it cuts to them on the ground, and it's implied that they also get banged.
Yes. But, like, it's obvious sexy times, and it's definitely nudity, but in terms of an exploitation film, it's kind of wild. And especially if they then just, like, skip to post-coitus in this. I love it. He should bang her. We should kill her. Anyways, I banged her. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the next night kind of thing where she's doing the... Something?
She's, like, sleeping with him.
Yes.
Because she notices that he fell asleep after their post-sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then she, like, gets up, unwraps her little cloth, like, I don't know, sack that she brought.
It's a gigantic sack.
Yeah, I know.
It's way bigger than the skull is, though. But like, it's like,
but she like pulls out a wolf skull. She pulls out a dagger. She takes her car keys out. She pulls out a hoodie. You know,
looking through her yeah, she's just going through the whole thing. She's like,
oh,
you know,
fuck, where's that wolf
dagger?
skull? Yeah,
okay, I need the pentagram. Where's the goddamn pentagram? Swear I brought it in here.
She pulls out the wolf skull to him while he's still sleeping. Cuts her arm to like bleed onto it, and then she like tastefully puts the mouth of the wolf skull on his nipple and like clamps down on it. Got him. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were gonna bite my nipple."
Oh, Jesus, I know. And then it's her running out into the woods.
That's right. 5 months from now, your nipple will be in pain still. Ha ha ha. Then she leaves.
Ha ha. But
like,
you wait. It's 500 years and 5 months. Of course.
What an epic prank. But she walks into the woods, and then you were like, oh, is she just gonna die to the axe murderer for no reason? Oh, she like clamped down on it with the skull. Jesus Christ.
Did she need to bang him to do this?
Oh yeah. It was very important to the
Okay, so there's still a crazed murderer in the woods, right?
Probably.
It'd be kind of amazing if she curses him as like a satanic follower, and then like wanders into a crazed murderer and gets fucking chopped up.
This movie would be so good. My nipple! Damn. I think that is what's gonna happen. Because of course. This movie's very dumb.
But like, isn't she supposed to be the biggest, baddest witch around now?
I don't know.
Kind of amazing that she gets fucking chopped up by some axe murderer for no reason.
Just some random guy. They need a Jason Voorhees versus Satanic... Oh, Jesus!
Oh, yes, I called it!
Your fever is just about gone. You have a scared, Papa. But fortunately, you're healthy and strong as steel. Be yourself again in just a few days.
Bet you didn't think there was an axe murderer. It's like those funny like 2-sentence horror things where it's like, and there was a sewer man at the end. Like
he comes out of absolutely nowhere. Like she just walks out into the woods, and then 5 seconds later, thunk, and it just hard cuts, and that's the end of her. Never to be seen again. That's the end. She got murdered by Axeman. Don't worry about it.
So now they need to introduce more characters for our werewolf man, soon to be, to interact with. Including more women that he needs to bang. Because that was, apparently, he was a virgin until Ilona.
Yeah, he mentions,
I
there's
guess.
this big thing about him being a virgin. I don't know.
I'm assuming that's part of, like, the lore of, like, virginity and monsters and all this stuff they're trying to fit in.
Yeah, I feel like it just kind of fits in with the vague, like, religious,
vibe.
Satanic kind of connotations.
The Satan
of all
things are
this.
funny too, by the way, because yeah, the Satanist worshippers, when they sent off Ilona, are like, okay, now that man, once he helps her, and then he like cooks her breakfast, and then when he walks over this crack in the sidewalk, Satan will get his soul. Like, okay,
it's always. That was one of the weird things about this one too when we talked about it, is that normally, you said like it's always the fun part of the Satan exploitation films, and I 100% agree that it's always like, aha, when they steal my pen, their soul will be damned because theft is wrong, mwahaha, and they'll invite Satan, and it's always the most minor shit.
When the family adopts this dog from the shelter doing a good deed, they will invite Satan into their home.
Yeah, but most of the time it is something bad, though. It's
sometimes, yeah, but it's like the lowest stakes bad.
But it's the lowest stakes bad. But in this one, it's like when he rescues this woman from the road and does a good deed, then he'll get fucked forever by Satan. You're like, wait, but that...
Yeah.
Like,
so... Whatever. So he goes out hunting the next day in the woods, and he finds
well, it's not the next.
Kinga.
He's been sick for a while.
Oh, he gets sick for a while and has nightmare dreams about being a wolf moon, werewolf moon, wolf moon.
Yeah, because it's kind of important that he's ill in a way, because people talk about it later. And they show his scar.
Oh, he's got a JoJo scar.
He's got a pentagram.
He's got a pentagram on his heart. And also during his dream, there's the knife circle with all the dudes with knives saying, "Ha, you murderer, you killed her." But it's like the cat like smugly looking away from the knives.
Surrounded by
like,
knives.
I didn't do it. I'll do it again though if it was me. You know, like fuck you. Anyway, he goes out hunting. This is just to introduce an engineer who has moved into town, a Budapestian, which is irrelevant to anything that he's an engineer or from Budapest. But
pretty much.
It's important that him, his wife, and his two sexy daughters have moved into town. So,
two sexy daughters in my exploitation film?
He finds one of the daughters just like hanging off of a cliff on a hiking trail.
Cliff.
Like, well, it's 5 feet off the ground.
Tiny rock. This small rock.
She's like, help me, I don't want to fall down 5 feet.
Oh, I've fallen and I need to find a man who will have sex with me in his bang cave.
Yep. So, his bang cave's a whole thing.
Yes.
He has like a whole house on his property where he just bangs. That's the only thing he does.
That's the only thing he does. He just goes there to bang.
And all of his maid and apparently the axe murderer just hide out there because he bangs so little.
Yeah, it's because he's a virgin, so it's been empty for like 30 years.
It's been like empty. So like, oh, that's where they go for smoke breaks or something, right? Like fucking
it's so fucking wild.
But anyway, so he saves her,
yes.
And she takes him back to the engineer's house to meet them. And the other daughter who's like, oh wow, oh, was this your place? Oh, you own this land? Wow, we're just renting. Hey, do you want to fuck?
Oh god, she is so obvious about it. Like she goes, hey, so what do you like to do around here? Like maybe go into the woods sometimes alone with another woman like me? And it's like in front of her mom, her dad, her other sister, like just the most obvious. Do you want to bang in the woods? Like it's one step removed from that.
And she has this huge. I don't want to make fun of her looks at all.
No.
She does have this huge overbite, which adds to like the goofiness. Of the scene, I would say.
It's funny because she's really good looking, I'd say otherwise, but she does have a very pronounced overbite.
But it's like, hey, you want to bang, and then her teeth are like sticking out, like you would do. It's like that would be like an Austin Powers joke or something, right? Like
almost, yeah. It gives her like a smile even when she's not smiling.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird choice, I guess. It's fine.
Something.
But anyway, so the next 3 scenes are all just the axe murderer killing people at night, and then going to daytime 30 seconds later, and then going to the next night so he can kill another person.
Yeah, and they do intersperse with one kill from the Wolfman all of a sudden. There's like this Wolfman that does a kill too, and you're like, wait, there's a Wolfman now? And it's like, okay, so that's got to be Walpurgir, right? Like, that's got to be him.
Gotta be. But so like, the doctor walking in the woods at night, he's like, wow, I can't believe someone's giving birth at 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I have to go walking in the woods with my hired guard. Oh no, we're dying. I'm dying to the axe murderer.
Man.
But that scene's so funny. That scene's so funny, because, like, they're like, hey, is that an axe murderer? Like running towards them for like a minute.
Yeah, and they have guns. Like, they even talk. He's like, well, we don't need to worry about an axe murderer. You're well armed. You've got a big gun. And then they're like, hey, who is that guy? And they're like watching him walk towards them. And then he just chops them to pieces. And you're like, I wonder how you could have prevented this. Anyway, who knows? Could have been anything.
It's so dumb. Dumb.
I said at the time that it had the energy of the Monty Python Lancelot.
Yeah,
skit
it very
like,
much is that.
Watching him like run towards them, and they're like, "Oh, who is that?" And then like all of a sudden he's right next to them, just chopping them up. It's so then, good.
Waldemar gets a letter, supposedly from Kinga, who is the girl that he saved in the woods from falling 5 feet and scuffing her boots.
And he has been having like an affair with her now out in his
some sort of relationship in his bang hut.
Yes.
Yeah, his bang cave. Anyway,
his special abandoned building that he.
So she's like, in. Mario, I made you a very special cake. Please meet me in the castle, Peach. So he's like, "Oh, I gotta go. She made a cake."
What am I supposed to do?
So then he shows up, and it's Maria, who's the other daughter, who is jealous of the one that he was fancying. And then suddenly the axe murderer just shows up.
Well, he hasn't showed up yet. The axe murderer shows up
that's
first.
what it was. That's what it was.
And they hide that it's Maria first, because they just show her, like, kind of like dodging the axe as the guy is attacking her.
Yeah,
And then Voldemar shows up, fights off the axe murderer.
Stabbing him.
Yeah, stabs him in the stomach with a dagger. And then the guy jumps through a window and runs out. So he like, oh god, I've been stabbed. But he's fine.
So it's implied that he might be alive.
Yes.
Because he just ran away. But then Maria's like, oh my god, that axe murderer almost totally murdered me.
Do you want to bang?
That makes me so hot. I came here a virgin and I'm not leaving one, goddammit. We're fucking.
Yeah, she literally says it's so fucking good. He's like, I don't want to have sex with you. I like your sister. And then he just but then he like walks into the bedroom and sits on the bed looking very dejected. As she goes,
yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna strip naked and I don't know, you do whatever you want.
And we'll see what happens.
All right, I guess I could be. While
we're here, I mean. but as they're banging, he turns into the Wolfman and kills her. At the same time, or like shortly after, the housekeeper comes upon him, passed out, and the body.
Yeah. And
she drags Maria's body out to hide the evidence, and then lies to him the next morning because he lost memory of what happened after he transformed. Yeah. It's like, oh wow, that axe murderer totally came in and killed her while you were knocked out. I don't know why. It was super weird. I thought he left.
He's like, I can't remember what happened. She's like, it's obvious. The axe murderer knocked you unconscious. And she sees him as the Wolfman, like very obviously, very prominently.
Well, it's because she's hanging out in the Bang Cave where nobody goes for smoke break. I get it.
She's
and
like,
also the axe murderer.
She's not a virgin anymore. God damn it, I don't have anywhere to smoke now.
I do think it's funny that the axe murderer's like, God, I gotta go somewhere where no one can find me and that nobody ever goes. The Bang Cave.
The Bang Cave.
It's never used.
It's never used. He never has sex. This guy is totally so fucking weird. But, oh god. So she covers it up and
it makes no sense.
I mean, I think that it does a bit, but they don't explain it well. Because she, later on, I think they explain it a bit in that she goes, well, you're like a son to me. And so
you're like a son and I know about your curse.
Yeah, so she kind of
yeah.
explains it later, but it doesn't make sense that. I get why she covers things up because she doesn't want him caught because she views him as her son, so she doesn't want him taken away or murdered or whatever.
Or whatever, yeah.
But what doesn't make sense is why does she cover it up from him?
She should be like, yeah, you turned into a werewolf, by the way.
By the way, you're a werewolf now? Maybe we should do something about that. Nah, no, fuck it.
She just gets killed later or whatever, off screen. Who cares? But anyway, so then it cuts from there to the mom of the engineer daughters.
Yeah.
And who's blind, apparently. Although that's irrelevant to everything. And she's like, no, I don't think it was an axe murderer, even though you met an axe murderer, and that guy did murder people with axes. This was a werewolf.
It's gotta be a werewolf.
It's gotta be a werewolf. I know werewolves.
I grew up here. There are werewolves everywhere.
There's werewolves everywhere. Isn't this the first werewolf in like 500 years because of the Satan curse?
No,
like,
he shot me with that silver bullet at the beginning who might have been a werewolf, maybe? Who knows? I don't know.
He was a Wolverine. Not a werewolf. He was a German Shepherd. What do you mean?
All I know is it was a good boy.
Anyway, so she's like, don't worry. The only way to kill him, and it's very easy. You have to first love him with all your heart. Then you have to get a tiny dagger and a tiny hammer. and forge one yourself out of a silver cross.
Own special silver cross weapon.
And then you need to stab him in the heart on a full moon. It's very simple 3-step process.
Real easy process.
No, devils don't exist, Mom. You don't know anything. I just want to bang him in his man cave. He wants to watch football afterwards. It's great. God. Like, okay, man. So then it hard cuts from that to the Ren Fair.
Yeah. There's
just for some reason,
people practicing in the woods as like a traveling crew, I guess.
A traveling show where they're all in costumes with a stage, like a Shakespearean play.
Yeah, but they're practicing at like midnight.
At midnight in the dark with no light except a campfire.
Why?
And then suddenly one of them is like, "Don't worry, I'll go get water from the river. It's midnight."
It's only an hour away.
She starts trudging through the woods in the dark, tripping over every stick and branch and hill. And
don't worry about it. I'm just wearing my sexiest corset.
So then the Wolfman, of course, pops out and kills all of them. Like, your show was trash. I hated it.
2 paws down. And across their throats, motherfuckers.
You want to see a funny joke? This will make a lot of sense in the future. I'm going to bend this shotgun. That's right. Now it's a YouTube.
Yeah, he just bends the shotgun in half.
For no reason.
Just show how strong he is, I guess.
And then it goes to a funeral where the villagers are burying those
some of the many murders.
Some of the many people that have killed.
There's been a lot of murders now at this point. Like, there's actually been a pretty high body count.
It's a high body count.
And the Wolfman.
And they're like, oh, well, praying to God hasn't solved our problem with this axe murderer and Wolfman. So clearly we must turn to Satan.
Yeah, the only one that can help us. He knows about Wolfmen. God don't know about Wolfmen, but Satan, he knows about Wolfmen.
They start like messing with the bodies and
yeah, they're pulling the eyes out of the corpses.
It's gross looking. It's really gross looking.
A lot of the gore is terrible in this, by the way.
A lot of it. This
like,
one looks
really bad, but this one looks good.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's like very obvious, like red paint and like just.
That's what makes me think maybe it would look better in black and white, because the red paint would you have to make it bright for black and white.
Yep. Yeah.
So it stands apart, right?
But also it's just like they do like just pour it straight across their heads and do nothing else.
Nothing else.
And it's like, oh, that's the gore. They're just covered, I guess. I don't know. Blood came from somewhere. Who knows where?
But then the cop comes by. He's like, "Hey, you can't have your funeral this way. I'm a cop."
What the fuck are you doing to these bodies?
And the villager's like, "Fuck off, it's our funeral."
Fuck off, it's our funeral. We can worship Satan however we want. I mean, God.
If you keep doing this, I'll arrest every one of you. Now get back to your regular Christian funeral. And then he pouts off, and all the villagers like, "Oh yeah, so we're gonna go back to the Satan thing, right?"
Yeah, we're totally doing the whole Satan stuff. Yeah, we're all right. Hail Satan.
So then it cuts from that to the maid talking to Waldemar.
Yeah, Maritza.
Yep.
Right.
And she's like, I need you to stop going to your bang man cave. You gotta stop banging people. It's bad.
You can't keep banging. Wait, why? Well, you're a wolf man.
and also then it cuts to Kinga in bed with him because they're banging in the bang cave.
Yep.
And she's like, by the
Fast
way, I'm
forward.
also pregnant.
God. This is the editing problem we were talking about, because this sounds like, wow, this is a lot to happen in a very short time. But if you remember, it's been 5 easy moon payments. And they're showing that. Like, every time that he's turning into the Wolfman, it's a new full moon. They're just skipping a month ahead in 30 seconds, constantly. Like, it goes from day to night 30 days later. And it just does that.
Over
back
and
and
over
forth,
and over.
over and over and over and over. And so it's both really slow and really fast.
Yep. So after that, Waldemar is like, oh my god, it's the 5th full moon. I'm gonna change it to a Wolfman. I figured out I'm the Wolfman. We need to get you home quick.
Yes, like, wait, why was I banging on the full moon? Fucking idiot. Right?
He
Like, that's the
schedules
thing, he
it.
knows.
He schedules these. He's like, oh, this is my banging day. Oh, fuck. It's like when daylight savings time happens. You're like, oh, fuck, I didn't know it was a full moon. I
By the
already
way, it's
scheduled the
daylight
bang.
savings, and we totally do this early in the morning and kind of forgot until last night. God damn it. But yeah, he's totally doing the, like, he's got on his hand, don't bang on the full moon. Oh shit, I wrote it on my hand, but I'm just gonna do it.
I should have remembered if it was on my hand.
It was on my hand.
Dumbass.
There's a reference that 5 people will remember.
Nobody will know that reference. So anyway, he starts running back home with her. Why did he go with her? Is the other question. So he can transform closer? I don't. So
maybe
so
not
he
to
starts-
raise their suspicion. And also, there's
Maybe.
still an axe murderer.
There's still an axe murderer, supposedly.
Yes.
Supposedly. But so she runs home and gets in safe, but he transforms. And as he's walking around outside, the engineer, her dad, is like, I think somebody's outside. I'm gonna go kill him with my gun.
I'm gonna shoot whatever's moving out there. Fuck this.
So he walks out, and then he walks to a tree, and the Wolfman's like, bet you didn't think I was in a tree, motherfucker.
This is the best part about all the Wolfman kills for me. He always just finds the high ground and, like, top ropes them. Every time.
Top ropes. But he cuts from the tree killing the engineer to then, like, killing 2 people in a barn, or not in a barn, 2 people that are, like, just a guy drinking and his wife. He just, like, rips the bars off and kills them both for no reason.
Yeah, he just goes to a random house and murders them.
And then Kinga comes out and sees her dead dad. She's like, no.
Oh my god.
And that's when she needs to then get the silver to finally kill Waldemar, because she realizes that he's the Wolfman.
Yeah, and her mother asks her, are you in love with him? And she's like, yes, I do love him. So Maritza goes, wait, somebody who loves him, I need you to do a special task for me.
Yeah, she hands her like a silver cross, right?
Yeah, it looked like a dagger. I thought that it was just a
Yeah.
silver dagger, because that would make sense. Because they talk about, oh, well, you know, you've got to have your love murder you with a silver dagger, which I kind of liked that as like a bit of a twist on the werewolf lore. Because it's but a satanic curse in this one.
That is good, but it's not that.
That it's not
It's
that.
not that.
No.
No, she has to forge a dagger out of this thing. And like, how much time is she spending? Like, she's putting it into the fire, taking it out. She has a tiny hammer.
Yes!
A tiny hammer and a tiny anvil. And she's like, ding, 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 ding.
And nobody tells her. Like, it's not like somebody goes, oh, you need to forge this into a weapon. It's just, they give her this cross that looks like a dagger. And it looks like a dagger because it's not, like, close into the camera. Like, they're a fair ways away in that shot. And then it cuts to her, like, it does a few other scenes. And then it cuts to her sitting by a fireplace, is going tink, 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 tink on this little like toy anvil and toy hammer.
You have to
with this
imagine
cross.
how mad she is as she's doing this. She's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta fucking make a dagger out of this fucking."
And I gotta use it to murder the person I love. What the fuck is going on?
And then she's like rubbing it against leather, trying to sharpen it. It's like, God, fucking how sharp do I make
clenching
this
it and like
fucking...
a little
oh,
bucket.
Jesus Christ,
like...
this is so much work.
She's like sitting there and she's like looking at her phone. In the meantime, they'll be like YouTubing how to smith. Like I don't know how to do this. Like,
she's just doing it. Oh my god,
it's so fucking funny. It's also like you can tell when they show it when she's like hitting it. It is the bluntest possible dagger you can imagine. It is not a dagger. It is barely. It will not kill. this will not cut. Kill. It will not kill.
So anyway, these kids, Hansel and Gretel,
find
from the fairy tale.
It has subtitles that name them as Hansel and Gretel.
They find the axe murderer's decomposing corpse in a barn.
Was that the axe murderer's corpse?
That was the axe murderer specifically. So then the cop is like, well, it couldn't be the axe murderer killing everybody, so it has to be a wolf man. That means one of you is among us, very sus.
Okay.
So that was why, like...
That means there's another murderer.
The cop was pushing the whole idea that it was the murderer. But now that the murderer's dead, it has to be a werewolf.
Wait, it's got to be another murderer, and he still doesn't think it's a werewolf. But everybody else goes, okay, well this proves it's a werewolf.
Yep. So then the village is like, fuck this, we're being a mob justice now, and they just kill a guy who is the hunting partner.
Yeah, because they go,
no reason.
Well, they go, you protected him. You protected Voldemar. It has to be him because, and this is where I said it was important that he got sick. And was ill for a long time because they said, oh, it was on the full moon on the night of Wolfbergsnacht, whatever, thing. They're like, he got ill right then. He must have gotten the curse of the werewolf at that time, and you protected him. You always knew. And he goes, I didn't know shit. What the fuck? And so then they scythe him, and the cop goes, whoa, 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 and they beat the shit out of the cop.
They
and
beat the shit out of him. Yeah, let's go be a mob. Yeah,
mob time. Mob.
And then the cop wakes up, he sees the dead body of the hunting party. He's like, wow, that escalated quickly.
Holy shit, what happened while I was out?
So then it cuts to the blind mom walking around blind down the stairs for some reason.
In her house,
in her house, and then the Wolfman just is like, finally, I will get her
from the top rope.
He jumps from the balcony, the second floor, leaps, frog splashes onto her.
He gets every murder from the Wolfman. He does it from a second floor balcony into the woods early on. He gets the dad from the tree. He gets her from the second balcony inside the house. He's always on an upper floor just going wah! Down onto them. It's super comical.
And then in the woods, so we have Kinga running after Valdemir in Wolfman form with her tiny dagger that she spent all that time forging.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. She's still forging as she's running.
Yeah.
Trying to sharpen the thing.
It's a small enough anvil. She could definitely do it.
She's holding it in one hand. Ding, ding, ding.
She's got a bellows under the other arm.
God, if we were making this movie, it'd be way better. And then the cop is running after him. So the cop shoots at him with his gun, and that doesn't work because he doesn't have silver bullets. So then he just runs up a hill and starts grabbing rocks and throwing it at him.
Yo.
And the Wolfman's like, oh, you like throwing rocks, huh, motherfucker?
This is what happens when you throw rocks. Life lesson. And smashes his head in with a big one.
So then Kinga catches up to him. He's like, no, Valdemir, I know you're a wolf man, and you're still so totally hot, and I'm still totally down. But I have to kill you. My tiny dagger.
Yeah.
It's like a letter opener or something.
It's way blunter than any letter opener I've ever seen.
So she kills him. He turns back into the normal human version. And then the mob shows up. He's like, oh,
God damn it. We even murdered that other guy for no reason.
Oh, fuck. Well, I mean, she's here. You want to just,
murder her, maybe? No, it's all the fun's been taken out. Let's just go home.
The mood is ruined.
Yep.
By the
Man,
way,
you make a whole Satan mob, you hail Satan, you burn a bunch of eyeballs to him, you kill a cop, and it doesn't even fucking matter. You don't even get to kill a Wolfman at the end of it.
Man, times have really changed. You know? God, just no fun anymore. Anyway, so...
Speaking of times changing...
Yeah, it cuts from that back to the future and her into the cemetery with her son.
Oh, that's who it was. Like, just... That's how long it takes to go back to this.
And then it cuts to another satanic witch talking in narration, be like, and that's right, the curse will follow his bloodline forever. Ha 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 ha.
For all his days.
And then the kid has a wolf hand.
Yeah.
So it carries on the curse for another movie in the 12 movie series.
We've got to have another 12 movies of Wolfmen.
I think so. That's by the way, Curse of the Devil. I think it's really interesting that they did the transformation sequence and the costuming the same as the 40s Wolfman. That is the same transformation sequence where it like does it in phases of various extra hair kind of growing on his face. I think that's really cool that they did that, by the way.
Yeah.
But Curse of the Devil, not Curse of the Wolfman or the werewolf.
Yes.
It's a lot slower than I think we made it feel.
Yeah.
Still. I think that's the big problem.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem, I agree with you entirely, is that it's slow, but also kind of hard to follow because it's slow in terms of plot.
Yeah.
And fast in terms of, like, time passing. Where it'll constantly cut forward, and you think, like, oh, later that day, and it's like, no, a month later.
It's a lot later. And there's no title cards or anything. It's now the future.
And that's fine to an extent, but it does it so often and so fast, and that sometimes, like we had, how we talked about how it went and did that, like, cut forward and then backwards, where it was like that one conversation between those two different characters in two different times that it, like, spliced together weirdly. Like, it'll do things like that make it really awkward to, like, get your place in time in the movie. And so it just feels disjointed because of that.
Yeah.
Even while it's, and, like, way too fast to follow the timeline, while also not being fast enough in terms of actual plot.
Yeah. It's a flawed film. However, there were dogs.
There were dogs. Okay, I know we're not supposed to rate the movie, but I didn't hate this thing. It was okay.
It's okay. From what I've heard, this might be one of the better Paul Naschy films.
Yeah, sure.
So
we had seen another one already. I had to look it up when you were saying that. I was like, right, I recognized him, and that was Rottweiler.
Oh, was he in Rottweiler? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
Huh. All right. Fair enough. I don't remember him in Rottweiler.
He's the main villain who resurrects the Rottweiler.
Oh, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
Okay. Sure.
Yep.
Anyway, let's rate the dogs. So there's the German Shepherd Wolverine Wolfman at the beginning. It's a very cute dog. It's really good at dodging bullets until it isn't, I guess.
Or maybe it is, because we don't know if that's the dog or a man.
Yeah, we don't know. I would give that German Shepherd a dog no longer appearing in this film out of 10.
It's a quantum dog out of 10 for
quantum
me. It
dog,
could be
yeah.
anything. It could be. You can open up that box. It could be a dead dog. It could be a live dog. It could be a Wolverine. It could be a wolf, or it could be a man.
It's true.
Could be anything.
The mob when they're going through the forest for mob justice, they have 2 black labs.
They do.
And they're very cute, and one of them keeps, like, falling asleep, being like, oh, are we moving or what? Come on, human.
Yeah, it was so obvious that, like you were saying, like, they're trying to get these dogs to be the hunt dogs, and the one's just real sleepy because it's night, and it's like, I just want to go to bed.
Come on, human, can't we do mob justice in the morning? That's a good dog.
That's a daylight savings time dog out of 10.
That was me. Yeah, that was me. And then we have, of course, Voldemort, the Paul Naschy Wolfman werewolf. I think I would rate that Wolfman a El Santo and Blue Demon out of 10.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a classic out of 10. He's like original Coke. He's the throwback to the original Wolfman. It is basically the exact original Wolfman costume they have for him. It kind of.
I know. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's surprising to see that in the 70s, to be honest. So
that was neat. I thought they wore that homage on their sleeve and had that be fun.
Well,
that's
I guess that's it for this episode.
That's Curse the Wolfman or Curse the Devil. Curse the Devil.
Curse of the Devil.
My brain keeps on wanting it to be Curse the Wolfman because it makes more sense. I don't know why it's Curse the Devil.
If you want to follow us on social media, we're on Blue Sky for Rough Cuts. You can email us at roughcutscast@gmail.com. You can also support us on Patreon. I purchase things for this podcast. You pay for hosting. This is actually a big effort, surprisingly. In this case, I had to have a Blu-ray player hooked up to a capture card through a splitter to get rid of the stupid anti-recording software on the Blu-ray
HDMI,
player.
DRM stuff.
We got a brand new 35mm print of this film from Vinegar Syndrome, which was great. So this whole thing is a big endeavor, and we appreciate
Which puts
your
a lot of
support.
work into the back end. I tend to watch movies. That's what I do. I come here and I watch a really bad movie that Borks makes me do.
Sometimes you make me watch a bad movie. I don't know.
That's true. But you pre-venged me last time, so I still haven't done anything back to you for that.
That's true.
Anyways.
Yeah, so that's it for this episode. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna go... You ever just, feel like you want to forge a really tiny dagger?
No, I have no plans of pre-venging you back. So I've never forged a tiny dagger to stab you through the heart because I love you.
I'm sorry, what? That's easy to set up, by the way. I just need to plug in the power and then swap my HDMI for my PS5. That's it.
Alright, that's good. I'm glad that it wasn't too much work for you.
2-minute setup. I just had to unplug a cable.
That's cool.
That is not the cheap, shitty Chinese knockoff one that has fake ports, by the way. That's my good Blu-ray player.
Yeah, I'm like, well, because the Chinese one is that even a Blu-ray player? I thought it was just a DVD player.
Okay. It lies about what it is.
It says that it has Blu-ray, but it has fake HDMI.
It says it's Blu-ray, but it's just DVD, and then it has a fake HDMI port. It's just AV.
Oh man.
The port is dummy. It's just a glued-in fake port that doesn't do anything.
I fucking love that. I love
but it
that
works
so
for
much.
Cerberus, so I'm like, I don't know. It's literally a scam.
Yep. It's a fucking Temu ass.
But it works. I mean, it works for what I need.
Well,
so it's
I mean, okay. I mean,
it works specifically for the Sci-Fi Channel original Cerberus movie, which was released on very shitty DVD that doesn't work in anything.
Yeah, it works to I wonder if it's circumventing some copy protection weirdly.
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be that, right?
Gotta be.
But it's very funny that it has the fake ports and everything. I've seen those kinds of things before, but it's very, very funny.
That was an Amazon purchase, by the way. So.
Well, of course, yeah, because Amazon's full of cheap fucking
I was
garbage.
looking for stuff that had bad reviews, so I could find one that was very clearly wrong, so it would work. I don't know if you understand how deep I went to get that stupid DVD working.
Oh my god! I knew. We've talked about it before, so I do understand, but it's still amazing.
It was not worth it.
No.
For the record.
No, Cerberus was... I wish that we'd never seen Cerberus. If I could go back, I would save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Welcome to Rough Cuts. Please support our Patreon.